Hi there, it's Dr. Syra, and I am back for Ask Dr. Syra, our video series where I answer your questions, the ones that you've written into me in a weekly video series. And so today's question is very different than the questions that I've had so far, but a very, very important question. So this question is here, I'll just read it to you. Dear Dr. Syra, I am 99% sure that my daughter is gay, but she hasn't come out to me yet. What can I do to out my daughter? From Annabom. Okay, Annabom. This is I'm glad you're asking the question, first of all. It tells me that you're interested in being supportive to your daughter. But one of the things about being gay or acknowledging one's sexuality is as gay or transgendered or whatever it might be, is that that's a personal process, right? So your daughter, though you might have, inklings, or you might kind of be certain that she may be gay, until she's ready to have that conversation with you, it's not really kind or appropriate for you to out her. So yeah, let me explain it a few ways. So the thing about our sexual identity is for many people who are straight, that's not like a process. Like there's no real coming out process for a straight person, right? And so I'm assuming from your question that you're probably straight, and you probably haven't had that experience of having to come out yourself. And so that's where your question is coming from. Like, what I hear in your question is, how do I support my daughter as she comes out? But what you said in your question was, how does she come out? How do I make her come out? And the quick answer is you can't, right? You can't force somebody to acknowledge their sexuality. And she might not for years know for herself that that's where she's coming from. She may decide to live as a straight person for a period of time because she's not quite sure. Or she might know it and just not want to tell you yet. And that's okay too. So I think the thing to ask yourself as a parent is, what's your motivation? Is your motivation to support her and make life easier for her? If that's your motivation, which I'm assuming it is because you're her parent, then what you can ask yourself is, what are some other ways I can make her life easier and make this process easier for her? So one of the ways is to kind of let her know that you are open and willing to talk about issues of homosexuality. So for example, if something comes up on TV, you can make a supportive comment, or if you're hearing about other people going through something similar, the way that you talk about being gay, she'll be listening for clues, right? And if she's hearing kind of homophobic comments, if she's hearing about where you seem to be closed-minded, that'll discourage her from actually being honest with you when she is ready to talk about it. So that's one way you can be supportive to her. The other thing is to ask yourself, why is it so important, or why are you feeling this impulse to out her? What's that about? Is it because you feel like she's, stalled in some way in her life? Is it because you feel like she has a partner and she's not being honest about that partner being an intimate partner and she's just saying it's a friend? Like, where's that motivation coming from? Once you understand your own motivation, then you can understand how better to support your daughter. Another thing to consider is, how old is she, right? Is she 8 or is she 18? Is she in her 40s? Like, how old? You didn't tell us that in your question, but that would also be a consideration. And she's younger, if she's, under 18, then as a parent, it's absolutely an opportunity to help navigate and help her explore and help her come to her realizations. If she's an adult, and I have mixed feelings about this, because I don't think when somebody turns 18 right away they're an adult and they know all this stuff. Like, I think that it's a process, and adulthood is like something that comes in waves, and so you might have a 16-year-old that's very mature, you might have a 24-year-old who's not. So I don't think 18 is like a magical number. I'm just using it as a holding place. But if your child is an adult, and you feel like they are, capable of making those decisions, then yeah, it might be about waiting, and it might be about her, coming to it in her own way. Another way you can support your daughter is to, look at your own friend circle. Do you have friends and family members who are gay themselves and who are out? And would those be mentors potentially for your daughter, people who you could introduce her to, and so that she's starting to see that you actually have other gay people in your life? If you don't, well, it might be a great time to visit, a gay pride parade, or educate yourself in some way so that when those conversations do happen, you're ready for them. I guess the basic answer to your question is it's not really about you. It's about your daughter, and it's about when she's ready to have that conversation with you. And in the meantime, there's an opportunity to educate yourself and to practice patience and to practice, you know, just like she probably came to you when she was younger. You know, she might have had a fight with her friends or whatever and spoken to you when she was ready. She'll come to you when she's ready. In the meantime, you can create a supportive environment so that she knows when it is time for her that this is a safe place to land. And even if you're the most open-minded, understanding, welcoming family member, it might still take her time because this is something she's got to internalize for herself before she's going to be able to tell you. So those are my thoughts on your question. Very brave question. I encourage you to, educate yourself. There's lots of resources online. If you need to connect with me directly, you know how to do that. Connect at talktosyra.com. And for everyone else who's watching, give me your thoughts down below on this particular answer. If you had that experience yourself coming out with your parents, we'd love to hear from you about how you did that, what your thoughts were about that. And if you have a question that you'd like me to answer, please email me at connect@talktosyra.com. And I would love to answer your questions because at the end of the day, it's your life and only you can live it. Take care. Have a good one.